Om Shanti. Pita Shri PrajaPita Brahma Baba's Life History, Part 38. Title: Meeting Nehru and Indira Gandhi. Sister Sitaji tells what happened when she first went to serve. We had so long been isolated from the outside world that we no longer had any idea what it was like. We didn't even recognize the money which was in circulation there. I had not held any money in my hand since I had come into the yajna many years before. We received everything we needed without even asking, so money was quite unnecessary. Baba took care of all our needs, and he always made our life sweet and full. But now that we were going out to serve, we had a problem, for we had to relearn how to deal with the impure world. I remember once when two of our divine sisters went out to serve, and they had to give 8 annas to a carriage driver. They could not decide which coin should be given to the man. In those days, there was a new 1 rupee coin in circulation and also an 8 anna coin, and both were the same size. One was slightly thinner, so they gave that one to the driver. These things were quite funny to us, but soon enough, we became quite adept at dealing with the world, while not allowing its peacelessness to influence us. After leaving the most spiritually elevated environment in the world, you can understand how drastic the experience was for us. At first, when we told by worldly people that they were unable to conquer their passions, we used to be amazed. We could only pity them, for we had the great fortune of being showered with godly love and knowledge, and so had naturally and automatically attained purity. And B.K. Dadi Gangaji writes about her first journey by train. While sitting there, all our thought waves ran to Baba. The ride was at first so disorienting. After great effort, by controlling the waves of my thoughts, I started speaking about the knowledge to some women who were sitting next to me. They experienced peace immediately, and they invited us to their house. The knowledge had a great effect on them as well as on me. Baba's words took form in my memory. When you teach this godly knowledge to people, you will experience exquisite joy, and all will look upon you with respect. Later, I stayed with relatives of Sister Manohar Indraji. They had expressed a desire for me to come and give them knowledge. I told them at the beginning that I get up very early in the morning and that after bathing I sit in remembrance of God. So, if there could be a separate room for me, it would be good. In addition, I told them I would make my own food and that I did not eat impure or highly spiced food. So, if you all choose to eat sattvic, that is pure food, while I stay, so much the better. They arranged all this as I requested. So, while I stayed there, I lived according to godly rules. My daily program helped them to organize their own lives better and to stay in the remembrance of Baba. They also learned to offer food to God before eating. This prevents greed and instability. I showed them many such things that were helpful on the path of purity. They were very impressed, but still one illusion remained for them. They felt that to put these rules into practice was very difficult. While I was staying at the house, I expressed a wish to meet Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru and Indira Gandhi. They laughed at me. How can you meet Nehru? He only gives interviews for very important things. Otherwise, he does not see anybody. He has great responsibility. He is the Prime Minister of India. He is a king without a crown. If he took time to see anybody and everybody, then when would he do his work? Thus, they put aside my impossible request. This was my first time in Delhi, and so I did not know the roads. But taking refuge with God, I started out alone. Baba had given me a gramophone record and some literature to be given to NEHRU as a gift. Thus, I was going to give the message of God according to the inspiration of God. How could I fail? And then, when I reached the offices, I was admitted without difficulty. First, I met INDIRA Gandhi. She asked what kind of service the godly yagya was doing for India, how many mothers lived there, what sort of knowledge we gave. I delivered the godly message and invited her to come to visit Mount Abu. Afterwards, I met NEHRU ji. I gave him the record and the literature and invited him also to meet Baba in Mount Abu. Moreover, I explained a number of deep secrets about the present time and the necessity of purity. In Delhi, near Red Fort in Chandni Chowk, there is a famous temple called Guru Shankar Temple. I delivered 2 or 3 lectures there. The secretary of the temple gave me a separate room for my stay, and I met many people who were eager to discuss the knowledge. I made them sit in meditation and watched as Shiv Baba gave them extraordinary experiences. A few women who received revelations went to tell their families. But their relatives responded by telling them, "You are a simpleton. Someone must have played a trick on you. Is it so easy to get the revelation of God?" Even after doing long penance, our greatest sages and saints have not experienced such revelation. Next title, A Peaceless Peace Conference. Yagya Mata, Mamma, as the mother of the Yagya, received an invitation to attend a religious conference on world peace in Rishikesh. Sisters Manmohini, Santri, Ganga, and Brother Anand Kishore were sent to take part. Sister Santri wrote, "Many foreign representatives had also come. We sisters had given lectures also, but after 2 days of the program, a quarrel broke out amongst the others attending. The dispute was over whether Hindi or English should be spoken there. If those who hold peace conferences fight and quarrel among themselves over such trivial matters, even to the extent of throwing chairs at each other, what else can it be called except darkness of religion?" Today, having lost the twin religions of purity and peace, all were prone to anger, jealousy, hatred, etc. The first lesson of religion is that we are all souls and peace is our religion and our nature. So, this conference only went to prove that real religion had been lost. That is why God himself had finally to descend. Swami Shivananda, who had organized this conference and was himself a peaceful man, spoke with us one day. He asked about the health of the GANDHI, father of the Yagya, Brahma Baba, and said, "Really, by uplifting so many women to such levels of purity and purpose, he has worked wonders." Later he asked, "Do you not ever quarrel amongst yourself at Mount Abu?" I said that we have learned to see each other as souls and to display patience and tolerance. We do not see each other's vices, but only virtues. We live with detachment as well as love. Shivanandaji said, "Wonderful. I myself have tried very hard to bring women together for spiritual upliftment. In my attempts to do so, 3 or 4 times I was not successful. They quarreled among themselves, and now when I hear that 300 mothers and girls have stayed together for 14 years, it is truly remarkable. Tell Baba to send me some mothers through whom I can start classes." Then I told him that our work is being led by Shiva himself, that Baba is merely an instrument. No one but God could make our lives so high and noble. During this period, service also accelerated in Delhi. A large regular satsang grew there. But after 2 months, the sisters wanted to go home. Just as small children do not like to go out and do business, the children of the yajna missed Brahma Baba. They had no real desire to do the service of teaching. So Brahma Baba had to fill them with concern for the welfare of other human beings. Brahma Baba used to say, "Children, all souls who are on this earth are your brothers. You have to become the support of the unsupported. You must make the whole of India divine. Rivers do not stop at one place, but they go on from city to city. They quench souls' thirst for peace and happiness." After hearing Brahma Baba's powerful lecture, the sisters sat down and made a project for service. Brahma Baba's main attention was on the capital of India, Delhi. Brahma Baba said that from there, the Satyugi Dharma, New Age garment will start. Around this time, some sisters and brothers of the Delhi Satsang had written a letter to Yajna Mata and PrajaPita. They said they were dying for the Satsang and the Brahma Kumari sisters have left us. They requested that the Brahma Kumaris should be sent back. So Brahma Baba again inspired his children to go. This time, not only were permanent morning and evening classes begun, but lecture programs were arranged throughout the area. We went to the Kumbh Mela too and lectured there. Sister Gangaji recalls, people believed that by taking a bath in the water, the soul was purified. No one seemed to understand that you must bathe the soul in the water of knowledge to purify it. The soul must become drenched in the divine qualities. To think that by merely immersing one's body in the Ganges, one becomes pure, is blind faith. But the mass ritual continued and the mobs grew larger, fighting over who should be allowed to bathe first. A bridge collapsed under the weight of bodies and many people drowned. Still, no one learned a lesson and the nonsensical ceremony went on. Those poor souls thought the soul to be immune to action and therefore made no effort to change their sanskars, to conquer their inner weaknesses. They entrusted that work to the Ganges only. After seeing the destitute condition of the mind of the simple-hearted people of India, we felt sympathetic. How could we liberate them from the bonds which tied them to their nature worship? They were destroying themselves in this blindness. So much time and money and energy was wasted in celebrating this useless Mela, while millions of people did not have enough to eat. Even the government of independent India encouraged the Kumbh Melas because they brought in more money through the pilgrim tax and by running railways. No one seemed to understand, and meanwhile the ignorant masses surged through the streets like an ocean. We realized then the importance of our serving the people of India. There was simply no one else to do it. Religion had become a business. The chains of the false gurus held the people fast. Sorrow burned in every heart. To redeem his unhappy children, Shiva, the Supreme, had to come to earth. Next title, The Establishment of Centers. A permanent center was established in Kamla Nagar, Delhi. Brahma Kumari's sisters, who had gone to Allahabad, began a center in Kanpur. There, Baba Harvilas Ray, a famous industrialist and a member of several large religious institutions, example Arya Samaj, Gurudwar, Ahluwalia Samaj, etc., listened to the knowledge with great interest. He gave part of his own bungalow to these sisters to establish service there. Just before this, B.K. Dadi Hriday Mohini and B.K. Shantamani had gone on invitation to Lucknow, and there also a center was founded. Thus, on invitation, many permanent centers were created, supported voluntarily by the students themselves. The classes grew rapidly. Om Shanti.